What's up, Facebook? Ty Crandall here with Credit Suite. And today we're talking about credit lines, one of my favorite topics. We're going to be diving into talking about how to get credit lines to fund your business. We'll talk about some bank credit lines you can get. We're also going to talk about some credit lines that you can get even when you can't get approved for a loan, credit card, or credit line at your bank. We're going to talk about credit lines you could get even if you don't have revenue. We'll talk about credit lines you can get even as a startup. We're going to talk about credit lines that you can get even without a personal credit check. So we're going to talk about a lot of different credit lines today and spend our time mainly on a few that are some of the easiest credit lines to get for your business. So when you leave this live stream today, you're going to have a pretty good idea of how to get a credit line even if you don't have revenue, how to get a credit line even if you're just starting your business, how to get a credit line even if you have credit issues where you don't want a credit check, and how to get a credit line in almost any kind of scenario. So we're going to be going to the chalkboard. Actually, let me bring you back to me till I get something to be able to point with. I need something to point with. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about credit lines. We're going to be talking about mainly a couple of the easiest to qualify for credit lines that I've ever worked with. But we've got well more than two. We're going to talk about a lot of other options other than these two. But I wanted to make sure that we focused on a couple of them that are two of the easiest to get. And we're going to be diving in talking about a lot of other options as well. So if you're looking for a credit line to fund your business, you're in the right place. So of course, when we talk about credit lines, we're talking about an agreement between a bank and the actual business where they're giving you a line of credit with a maximum credit limit, the maximum amount that you could use. Now, there are both secured and unsecured credit lines. We're going to talk about both today. Okay, secured is when you're going to be providing some kind of collateral, easier to get. Credit doesn't matter, revenue doesn't matter. Unsecured, there is no collateral, so other things matter other than collateral, like credit, for example. Okay, these are flexible, so you can reuse them. These are real credit lines. Credit lines that if you get 100 grand and you spend 10 and you pay down the 10, you can reuse it, which is one of the reasons that people love credit lines so much, because you're only paying payments and interest on what you use. So unlike a loan where you may get 100 grand and pay payments on 100, with a credit line, you could get a credit line for 100 and then only use 10 and only pay payments on the 10. So we're going to talk to you about ways you can do this with a lot of these different options. These are revolving and oftentimes are unsecured. We're going to talk about some secured options also because they are easier to get. And these are true credit lines. We'll talk about cards and lines. We'll talk about the difference between cards and lines today, so you'll know the difference, because sometimes a lot of credit cards are promoted as credit lines and they're not. We're going to dive into that. And we're also going to talk about how you can get them based only on good credit or only based on financials or other things, because in a lot of cases, if you go to your bank, you need good credit and good time in business and financials. I'm going to give you options where you don't need all three. So we're going to start right here. This is really my favorite credit line that exists out there today. And how this works is, first of all, it's ideal for startups and high-risk industries. A lot of my friends and even industries that are financial services or credit repair are able to get this credit line when they're not able to get a lot of different kind of loans, okay? You don't need to be in business for 6 months, 12 months like you need for a lot of loans. Startups can be able to qualify. The reason startups can qualify is you don't need to show revenue. They don't need bank statements and they don't need tax returns. So because they don't need tax returns or bank statements, that's how you can get approved even as a startup. Now this program, really these are business credit cards, but I call it a hybrid program. They're credit cards and you get the benefit of 0%. Michael, thanks for coming in. You get the benefit of 0% you get from cards, but you also get the benefit of credit lines because you could take the cash out. So with this program, you could physically take 100% of the cash out that you get without paying a 20% cash advance fee. As a matter of fact, you'd only pay a 0% rate. So it gives you the best of both worlds. Okay, now with this, there's no impact on consumer credit. These accounts, a lot of them only report to the Business Credit Reporting Agency. So what's nice about this is you're actually getting access to up to $150,000 in revolving credit even as a startup. Brenda, thanks for coming in. The credit reports to D&B, Experian, and Equifax, so you build your business credit. So if we look at the steps of building business credit, you're ultimately replacing step 3 with this program, because we're going to get you 5 or more unsecured accounts that report to the business credit reporting agencies, so you no longer need Uline, Quill, Granger, any vendors, because you're using cash credit instead. Natasha, thanks for coming in. So this is a great program because there's no impact on consumer credit. It doesn't report on your consumer credit reports. It helps you actually build business credit. Now you're getting 0% for about 6 to 18 months is what you're going to end up getting. And again, a lot of regular credit cards that you try to find on your own, you're not going to get 0%, or credit lines you won't. But with this one, you get the ability to take cash out that you get with a credit line, and you also get the benefit of 0% that you get with a credit card. So you don't need collateral, okay? Only personal credit matters. Now there's 2 different options here. There's a 650 score where you're starting to get consumer cards. You get all the benefits I talked about, but these cards will report to the consumer reporting agencies, not the business. Cheryl, thanks for coming in. Kevin, my buddy Kevin's here. Welcome, man. I was just thinking about you today. And a 680, you're getting personal and business cards. So you'll get more money with this program if you're willing to take personal cards, and you could take more cash out on the personal cards. But you can also, if you have better credit, get business cards that build your business credit at exactly the same time. Now, you're typically going to get 5 to 8 different accounts. You usually get 3 to 5 business accounts, and then you'll get another, 5 to 3 consumer accounts as well. So you're getting business and consumer, and you can choose. If you only want the business reporting, you can only get business reporting. If you want more money, then you take personal and business. If you want to take more cash out, then you'll take personal and business. So the way this program works, okay, I want pics of all your boards. Well, you could take screenshots, but there's a lot of boards around this office, as you can see, so probably too many to take pictures of. But you've got to take screenshots because these get taken down every month. So here's the way this works with this program. You're getting 0% for 6 to 18 months. You're getting 5 to 8 accounts that report on your business credit reports. You'll get more money if you choose the consumer accounts, and you'll be able to take more cash out on the consumer than the business. So a lot of our clients end up getting both. So when you come in, you're basically pre-approved same day. You'll get a pre-approval in about 2 to 3 hours in some cases. It tells you how much you'll get approved for. It has 2 different approvals, just business cards, business and consumer. You can choose all, you can choose none, but it's really easy to get this program. Now, Alex is here. My buddy Alex going crazy with the loves. So it's a really, really, really cool program because you have that option. Now, you're typically going to get 5 times the amount of your current highest credit limit, up to about 150 grand per entity. So if the highest credit limit account you have now is 10 grand, you'll get 5 times that or more, about $50,000 with this program. We commonly get people approved for 75 to 120 grand, even as a startup. It's insane. I've never seen something like this. You're usually going to get 25 to 150 grand, depending on how high your current limits are. Okay, then after about 6 months, you can even then come in and we help you raise those limits and get even more financing as well. Okay, so a lot of different benefits with this program. You can often even use guarantors to get approved instead of using your own credit. Now, you'll need pretty good credit, 650, 680. You'll need no BKs, no judgments that are recent, no derogatory pay items in the last 12 months. Okay, and you should also have some kind of credit cards now. One bank card with a 3-year history, or if you have a mortgage or auto loan, that can work instead of this. So to kind of get a summary of this program, it's 0% financing for 6 to 18 months. You can get approved for up to $150,000 in financing. You can get approved as a startup. There is no bank statements that are looked at. There's no revenue that's looked at. You don't need collateral. All you need is a 650 or higher FICO score or a guarantor with a 650. If you use yourself and a guarantor, you'll get even more money. You can physically take cash out on these, so it gives you the benefit of credit lines where you could take all the cash out if you want, and you're getting it at 0%, something you can't get with credit lines. So you get the benefit of credit cards at 0% for 6 to 18 months, and you get the ability to take cash out at 0%, which is phenomenal. So I love this because it also helps helps you build your business credit. The business accounts report to the business reporting agencies. So not only are you getting up to 150 grand, but you're building your business credit at exactly the same time. And Steve says, yes, a sole proprietorship or an LLC, any of those, any entity will work. You can get approved even as a high risk industry as well. And even when you just can't qualify for a lot of loans. So a really good program. So my other new one that just came out, that's one of my favorites, is actually two credit lines. It's AR or revenue-based credit line. Now, this one's based on credit. This one doesn't even have a credit pull. So interest rates are as low as 0.5% to every week that the money's outstanding. If you borrow and spend the credit line for about 6 months to pay it back, you pay an interest rate of about 4.8%. So again, a buddy of mine got this. He paid it off within 2 weeks. So we only paid 1% interest on this credit line. I love this credit line. We got approved we just upped ours and got 100 grand on this credit line at that kind of rate. It's phenomenal. Okay, immediate approval. It takes about 1 to 2 hours for an approval, and you fund the next day, and you can get up to 100 grand. Yes, we see a lot of clients get it. We have actually got a $100,000 credit line with the same program. So the 100 grand is very reasonable. With what you borrow on the credit line, you have about 12 to 24 weeks to pay back what's used. About 6 months. Okay, 0.5% interest per every week outstanding. That's about $1,000 per or about $50 per every 1,000 you borrow. Okay, now what usually happens with this program is they're going to approve you for an amount under 25 grand. Then if you supply 2 years of tax returns and you have pretty good revenue, 20 grand or so a month, then they'll typically approve you for more money. So the same thing happened with us. We got approved for 30 grand initially. And then we went through 2 rounds of increasing the amount we got. We supplied tax returns the next day. They approved us for 100. So really good. So what happens is there's 2 ways you can get approved. One, they plug into your accounting software like QuickBooks or Xero. If you have outstanding account receivables, people that owe you money, then you're able to get approved just because you have this AR. The other option is they plug right into your bank account electronically. And if you have good bank account management, then what happens at over about 100 grand a year in revenue, then you'll get approved only based on revenue. Now, unlike other revenue-based loans that have 20, 30, 40% interest rates, this is a credit line with interest rates of 0.5% for every week outstanding. So less than a 5% rate on this. And here's the best part. No credit pull at all. They don't pull consumer credit. They don't pull business credit. They do not pull credit. So no matter how bad your credit may be, it does not matter with this program. There's no credit pull whatsoever. I love this. Matter of fact, clients that get loans, we get them this credit line anyways. We get everybody this credit line. Anybody that's coming in to get money that even meets the basic requirements, we send them in and get approved. Sometimes they get 2 grand. Sometimes they get 5 or 10. And then sometimes we get 30 or even more. So here's a perfect example. Here's a buddy of mine. He's in credit repair industry. He came in, he said, hey, look, I'm cool with getting one of these merchant cash advances where I spend 30%. I just need this kind of money. I want 30 grand. I said, absolutely not. Let's try this program instead. He got approved for 6 grand. He supplied his tax returns and they immediately approved him for 30. So here's a guy that was willing to spend 30% interest and ended up getting a rate less than 5% on a credit line because even at a high risk, even in credit repair with this program. Phenomenal program, okay? So again, 2 ways to qualify: account receivables or consistent revenue. Now there's a lot of other credit lines I want to talk about as well. And thank you guys very much for going crazy on the loves. Alex, you guys are having like a like competition. I love it. It's going great. Kevin and Alex are having a like competition here. So, and I don't know who's going to win. It's going to be close. Okay, so let me talk to you about some other credit lines as well. Let's not forget about SBA. If you have good credit, cash flow, and collateral, SBA is something they call CapLines. There's 5 different credit lines you can get depending on like what industry you're in. If you need it for seasonal, whatever it may be. You can actually get these things up to $5 million. But you got to have good credit, cash flow, and collateral to get them. Now, there's alternative SBA credit lines as well. One of my favorite that just came out, you need a 620 FICO score and $100,000 or more in revenue. If you have that and you can show some kind of tax returns with profit, you can get approved for up to $150,000 just based on having regular cash flow and having pretty good credit. So you need to understand that these are ridiculously important factors. If you have good credit and tax returns that show a profit, your ability to get loans and credit lines is through the roof. Your ability to get almost any kind of financing you want is through the roof. So if you have credit issues now, work with a reputable credit repair company. Guys, these guys know what they're doing, and they're geniuses and brilliant at what they do. I have a lot of friends in that industry. They are phenomenal at what they do, helping you fix credit. Get your credit fixed. It opens up a lot more funding options for you. You are about to start paying taxes for last year. Show some kind of profit. I don't care what your accountant says. Even in my world, when you show $5,000 in profit and have decent credit, your ability to get loans and credit lines is through the roof. So don't write everything off at the end of the year. Show some kind of profit. I don't usually talk about this, but I'm talking heavily about it now because it's tax time. You're about to file taxes. You're about to do something that you will be dealing with the ramifications for a year to come. So if you want the best results for loans and credit lines, make sure you show some kind of profit. This quote I just showed you, even with a 620 FICO score and some kind of profit on tax returns, they can get you a credit line up to $150,000. But if you have a 700 credit score and you show a complete loss on your tax returns, they give you zero. So it's very important. I'm showing you a lot of options where you don't need it, but I cannot stress enough that if you have those two things, better credit and you have tax returns, your ability to get financing is through the roof. Now, Steve says, your system sounds good. I was dumb enough to hit a link on LendingTree at another similar site and got blasted with inquiries. It's because they sell your data everywhere. I had $5.4 million in sales last year with a credit score of 840. That's awesome. Before these inquiries, got a $200,000 loan with a payback of $280 in 9 months. Yeah, that's because that's a merchant cash advance. Money at those rates. Look, that's a merchant cash advance. Guys, I'm not talking about merchant cash advances today, but Steve, I'll tell you this. With the revenue that you have, there's a lot of other options, and I'll give you our phone number right now. There's a lot of other options where we can even pay off that merchant cash advance you got at a ridiculous rate and get you into a real loan, a real credit line with a 5 to, usually 10% rate depending on your risk. Steve talks about a real situation. He went and got a merchant cash advance, which, guys, these aren't bad, honestly. The rates are high, but if you're using it for something that where you normally can't get a loan and you can reinvest the money, hey, I'll pay 40% on the money if I can turn around and use the money to do something that'll triple my revenue, right? So it only works if you're using the money to reinvest with substantial growth. If you're not doing that, those kind of loans don't work. And just so you know, Steve, most people offer the kind of loan you're describing. The problem is most people don't offer the kind of loans and credit lines I'm talking about here. So this kind of training helps you because the problem isn't that you got screwed over. It's just that you were working with somebody that didn't have a better option. That's all they had. There's so much money these sales guys make on merchant cash advances that a lot of them, it's the only loan they offer because they get paid so much money. I mean, I'm telling you, a source can get paid, even us. A source can get paid 10 points on those deals. So if somebody got you $280,000 deal, they probably made $28,000 just to get you that loan. That's why people offer them, okay? What we believe in is getting you the most amount of money at the best terms. You think we make a lot at a 0.5% interest? No. We make maybe hundreds on this program. But I don't care. It's still my favorite program because that's sick. That kind of rate is ridiculous, and it helps people get what they want. Merchant cash advances aren't always bad, guys, if you're using the money for a purpose where you can reinvest and make a lot more money with it. And sometimes it is the only option, but Steve, it's not yours. You have a lot of others based on what you said. Talking about that, Steve, there is a cash flow financing credit line as well. This one, if you have $10,000 a month in revenue and over 500 scores, this is only based on your revenue. And some revenue lenders offer it where they'll give you a credit line of about $25,000 just based on your revenue. Now, there's a lot of other ones as well here. So we've got a great option that's based on stocks and bonds. You could basically take stocks and bonds of yourself or somebody else, a guarantor, for example. Oh, and I've got a bunch of other questions coming in. I might answer this as well. A guarantor's stocks or bonds or your own, get an interest rate of 5% using those as collateral. Now, what I like about this program is you still keep the stocks and bonds invested where they are. You still earn the interest. You still get the return. Nothing changes. Unless you default, then they take the stocks and bonds. So that's another where personal credit does not matter. Cash flow does not matter. All you need is stocks and bonds. There's another option using a 401k. So if you have a 401k, you could borrow against that. You still get all the benefits that you'd have with a 401k. You don't need cash flow and your credit doesn't matter. And again, you get loan or credit line, your choice, with a rate of 5% or lower. So Kevin says, you just saved me. I was about to do just what you said. Don't do it. Kevin, just get in touch with me and let me help you because you know we talk all the time. Do you have anything for startups to get a line of credit? Yes, I just talked about that, but I'll go over it with you really quick. Again, I didn't get it. I have $200,000 on credit lines already. Well, Steve, just get in touch with us and we can talk to you about some more options. Consumer debt is always bad. Investment debt can be good. You are right. Look, guys, when it comes to consumer, I'm not big on credit card debt at all as a consumer. I have zero, and I try to keep it at zero, okay? But in the business, there's no company that's got to be the biggest publicly or privately owned without using other people's money. Apple still borrows money, and they're sitting on billions in cash. They do it for a reason. Walmart, 80% of what they sell, they use business credit to buy. They put it on their shelves. You come in and buy their items. They take your money and use it to pay off the business credit. 80% of what Walmart sells, they buy on credit and resell to you guys. It's the reason they're the #1 retailer in the world. So yes, when you're putting some debt, when you're using money and taking on some debt in your business to grow your business faster, it's not always a bad thing. Okay, we've got a lot of money in credit lines here at Credit Suite, and right now they're all at zero. All of our credit cards, all of our credit lines are at zero. Last year, we had 100,000 on them because we reinvested the money to grow the company faster, and the company doubled in growth. And then we pay that stuff off. And then when we see another growth opportunity, we use it. This is why you want to have access to credit lines, especially to be able to take advantage of them while you can, to be able to make opportunities for growth. So a lot of different options. Somebody asked about credit lines for a startup. We covered that in the beginning. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but yeah, if you have a 650 credit score or higher, even a 680 preferred, you can get credit line at 0% for about 5 times the amount of your highest credit limit account, up to 150 grand. And guys, if you have questions on any of these programs, you can go right here, give us a call. We'll talk to you more about all different kinds of loans and credit lines you can get. So let me see my other board here just to see if there's anything. Inventory financing. If you do have inventory, you can also get a credit line for up to $500,000 with rates of 5 to 15% using inventory as actual collateral as well. And don't forget, when you build your business credit, when you come in and set up your business credibly, when you get your DUNS number, when you build some initial accounts using vendors or that unsecured option I gave you, and then get about 10 or 14 accounts using Sprint and Staples and stores, then you can get credit lines as well. One of our clients just got $100,000 at PNC Bank with no credit check and no personal guarantee using business credit, just so you know. Now, Loria says, hello, Ty, do you help with investment options as well? I would like to invest in real estate. I don't do that, but we do with real estate financing. If you're looking to flip houses, we have financing for that. If you're looking to buy commercial property or refinance it, we can help you with that. As of actual real estate investing, I don't do that, but a lot of my friends are part of Renatus, R-E-N-A-T-U-S. Renatus is one of the best training programs in the country when it comes to real estate investing, and we do a lot of their education. We do all their education when it comes to business credit building. So look into Renatus. Okay, Renatus is a great way to go for information on real estate investing. We can help you with some of that financing. And Chris says, hey, Ty, my clients don't understand the process of how we leverage high limits on credit cards unsecured. What's the process? So I'm not exactly sure what you're asking about. Are you talking about no PG business credit or personal guarantee business credit? Let me know and I'll answer the question. So let's take a look through. Startup. Are you a startup? Well, even if you're not, you can choose a 0% credit line if you have better credit. 650 to 680 scores. 650 will get you personal reporting. 680 will get you business reporting. 5 times the amount of your highest credit limit account. You can get approved for up to 150 grand. You get 0% and can take the cash out. Phenomenal program. If you have account receivables, other customers that owe you money, or consistent revenue over 100 grand, well, then we've got a great credit line with an interest rate of 0.5% for every week you have the money outstanding. About 5% is the total interest rate if you borrow it over 24 weeks. You can get this is that there's absolutely no credit check. So with this one, credit's all that matters. Revenue and cash flow, or cash flow and collateral don't. With this one, collateral can matter, account receivables or revenue can matter, but credit doesn't. There's not even a credit pull. Okay, when we talk about SBA CapLines, with these programs, cash flow, credit, and collateral does matter, but you can easily get approved for under 25 grand without any kind of collateral, and you can even get loans up to $5 million. So if you have good credit, cash flow, and collateral, great way to go. Alternative lenders, do you have a 620 FICO and tax returns that show some kind of profit? There's a lot of options here. We've got one phenomenal credit line we just added where you can get up to 150 grand just with a 620 FICO and tax returns that show some kind of profit. Do you have consistent cash flow? If so, going through your bank account, we work with lenders that offer a cash flow credit line, about 25 grand they'll give you only based on cash flow, with FICOs as low as 500. Also, don't forget securities financing. If you have stocks, bonds, or 401k, you can borrow as much as 90 or 100% of a 401k, 90% of stocks, still earn the interest, still keep the stocks invested, and get credit line or loan, your choice, with an interest rate of 5%. Don't forget, if you have inventory, that opens up a great option for you as well, with a 5 to 15% interest rate and a $500,000 credit line. This only works if you have inventory. And then, of course, don't forget about building business credit. If you build your business credit, go through, set up the business credibly, get your DUNS. You come in here and you get some accounts initially, or you got some using the unsecured program I just showed you. You add more of these kind of stores. When you get to about 10 or 14 accounts, you can get Visa, Amex, MasterCard. You can actually get credit lines. So here's real approvals using business credit without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. Here's one that our client just got, Christine. $100,000 PNC credit line. Now, you'll also get a lot of cards along the way for $10,000, $20,000 as well that can also help you get financing. So, a lot of different options. What it comes down to is what's your strength. If credit's your strength, we've got credit lines that'll work for you even as a startup, even with no cash flow, no collateral. If collateral is your strength, inventory, 401k, stocks, bonds, account receivables, those all open up credit lines for you with no credit check. Credit doesn't even matter. Revenue doesn't even matter. Maybe you have consistent revenue, but your credit's bad. You don't have collateral. We talked about a lot of options based on revenue alone. With even 10 grand a month in revenue, or even 100 grand a year in total revenue, you can still get approved for those options as well. What if you don't have cash flow, credit, or collateral? What if you have none of it? Well, then business credit will still get you the credit lines you want. A little bit longer than the other programs. It'll take you about 6 months to get to $50,000 plus limit cards and lines, but still, it's a guaranteed way to get you what you're looking for, even when you don't have cash flow, credit, or collateral. Maybe you do have all three. Cash flow, credit, collateral. That opens up a ton of SBA options for you with low rate, long-term financing and really high amounts. Guys, if you have any questions, if you want the fastest way to build business credit, if you want to talk more about credit lines and a bunch of loans too, these are all loans that we don't even talk about any of these kind of loans today. Okay, then we also offer all that kind of financing. We never charge you a dime to get any kind of financing. Rates, the lenders will charge normal rates and fees, but we help you through the whole process for free. And we've also got a great guide on building business credit at creditsuite.com/Facebook. Okay, so creditsuite.com/Facebook. So, why is the limit at 150? I don't know. I don't know why it is. And it might not even be 150. but I tell you 150 because I've never seen anybody approve for more than 150. I'm not one of those guys that says 250,000. I'm telling you based on what we've actually seen time and time again. We see a lot of approvals from 75 up to 150. I personally never seen one entity ever approve for more than 150. But if you want to get approved for more than 150, use more than one entity and you can do it. So I don't know why, but keep in mind, you're talking about $150,000 for somebody that is no doc, no verification of revenue at all, and no collateral. That's unheard of in the lending space. So 150 is a lot for it being no doc. But keep in mind, if you want more than 150, that's easy. You just have to go full doc, or you have to use multiple entities to get you there. What's the name of the RE company that finance? What do you mean the real estate education company? That's Renatus. 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 Renatus is fantastic. They're the biggest in the country when it comes to real estate education. I think that that's what you're asking about. If not, let me know. So we went through a bunch of credit lines today. Stated income, yes. No doc and stated income up to 150 per entity. You have more entities, you can get more. You want to go full doc with tax returns or bank statements. Steve, that opens up a ton more options as I just showed you. Remember, the unsecured was no doc, which means only credit used to qualify. If you want to use credit and cash flow, as I mentioned, that opens up a lot of loans and credit lines. Guys, we work with a lot of lenders. A lot of lenders and a lot of financing in one place to help you get the most amount of money that you can get. And we help you get business credit to get the money at the best terms and get business credit even when you can't get financing. So if we can help you, feel free to reach out to us. We'll talk to you about the fastest way to build business credit. We'll help you qualify for all these loans. All these are different loans. Okay, every single one of these is a different loan program. All these are different loans that we work with. To give you an idea, these are all credit lines that we work with. We work with every legitimate type of financing to make sure that we can get you approved for the most amount of money. So if you're interested in getting a loan or credit line, let us know. If you're interested in building your business credit, let us know. And don't forget to get your free guide on building business credit at creditsuite.com/. I'm going to wrap this up. You're business owners, you're busy. If we can ever help you with getting loans, lines, or business credit, let me know. I will be back in the weeks to come to talk about more ways you can get financing, vendors you can use to start building business credit, the steps to build business credit, all different types of things. Every Thursday at 11, we are here live on Facebook. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the loves. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the engagement. It means more to me than you'll ever know. I really appreciate it. D, thank you very much. I wish I could take credit, but I gave up on my boards a long time ago and hired a great whiteboard artist that actually does these. And she actually talked me into getting the chalkboard. She's pretty awesome. And she takes care of all of our boards. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here because my writing is so horrible. So I appreciate it. D, and thank you very much. Your name again. My name is Ty Crandall here at Credit Suite. You can see us at creditsuite.com. And somebody saying, how many trade lines did Christine have before? I'm not sure how many she had, but I can tell you it's for sure well above 14 or 15. Many of these approvals are hers. She got this 40. She got approved for financing at Ford as well. This 40,000 Best Buy is hers. She had to have at least 14 accounts, and this is about a year to get here. She just got a $75,000 account, but she's the epitome of what you can accomplish when you're building business credit. As a matter of fact, if you go to YouTube and just type in Christine or type in business credit and find our page on YouTube, our channel on YouTube, and you look up Christine, you can see an early webinar we did with her where she'd only had about 150,000 in approvals at that point, and she walked you through the process of what she did, how she did it. We teach you how she did it. She talks about the exact cards she gets, the limits she got. We map it all out, the whole thing. So if you want to see how she actually went through that process from beginning to not end, because she's got 150,000 beyond when we did that webinar, go to YouTube, youtube.com/credit suite. Just type in business credit in YouTube and you'll find us. And then type in Christine and search our page. You'll find her webinar and you'll get a lot of details about how she exactly did that. How can startups also get business funding with the 680 score? Again, my advice, and Kevin, thank you for the boards, is to go back from the beginning. We've now reviewed the same program multiple times, so you probably came in late, which is cool. This is based only on consumer credit, no tax returns, no collateral, no bank statements needed for approval. You're going to get about 5 times the amount of your highest credit limit account, up to 150 grand. 0% rates for 6 to 18 months. You could take the cash out on the actual accounts, and you're going to usually get about 5 to 8 accounts that also help you build your business credit. That's an overview of the basics that you need to know. And again, if you want more details, give us a ring. With that program, we can send it to our finance source and get you pre-approved in about 2 hours. You'll know how much you can get approved for with no inquiries or anything on your credit report. If you decide to go forward, they will put inquiries on your credit report, but you can find out how much you can pre-qualify for, etc., without any of that. So feel free to give us a call. Okay, so I will be back here, and if you missed this, then go back, watch it in its entirety. It'll be available indefinitely on our Facebook page, facebook.com/credit suite, and I will be back here next Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern talking more about how to get financing for your business. Loria says, how long is the process if your team did it for you, considering a startup with Duns? The problem is nobody can build credit for you. If you think about somebody trying to build your consumer credit, it's as problematic as building your business credit. When you think about building credit, what are you doing? You're going out and finding things you want to buy. You're buying them using credit. You're paying the bill. You would never want people doing that for you because you're the one that needs to determine the kind of credit you want to get. Everybody offers this kind of credit. Do you want a $20,000 credit card at Macy's, or do you want it at Office Depot, or do you want it at Amazon? That's why you really have to be involved in the decision-making process. When you're setting up a business credibly, you're the only one that has access to your Secretary of State records, etc., etc. So we will help you through the process. You'll be involved, and you'll start getting immediate vendor credit right away, high-limit revolving store credit cards in about 60 days. You'll get fleet credit in about 90 days, and you'll get to the end, Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express, in about 4 to 6 months when building with us. It'll usually take years if you're doing it on your own, just because you're going to run into a lot of problems that you don't know how to get past or didn't expect. We just help you overcome that. We like to say we just take years of business credit building and condense it to months. So if we can help you along the way, feel free to give us a ring when it comes to credit lines, loans, or business credit, 877-600-2487. Again, thank you for the shares. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the loves. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for the questions, the engagements. I will see you next Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern here live on Facebook. So make sure you follow us on Facebook, and make sure you just put a little invite on your calendar to know we're here. If you want even more information on business credit, I've got kind of an exclusive training. If you text the word tips to this number, you get a special video every week through text. It's only one video a week. And I only give this training through text. So if you do by chance want more information on building business credit, text the word tips to 855-982-1820. My little bot will engage with you. He's really friendly and really cool. And we will send you a training video every single week, which is cool. Yep, Kevin, I missed you, I think, yesterday on Periscope. But we are live every Wednesday on Periscope. CreditSuite.com/Facebook to grab your free well. And if you grab that free guide, we'll notify you when we do webinars. We just did a webinar on the 8 steps to build business credit. The only people that get initially exposed to that are people that actually are on our subscribed list. So if you text or you grab that guide, we'll make sure you get those notices as well. Thank you all very much. I'll see you next Thursday here on Periscope. And of course, Kevin, I'll see you next Wednesday on Periscope. And I'll see everybody else next Thursday here on Facebook. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.